Notes from EAG Hong Kong. May 20th, 2026. In late April I flew to Hong Kong for a single afternoon, a 3-minute pitch slot at EAG, the Ethereum Applications Gathering. Here's what surprised me most, up front, in what is arguably the cathedral of one of the world's most important blockchains, the center of gravity wasn't DeFi. It wasn't price. It was AI, with real urgency, again and again from the main stage. And a second, more personal observation came home with me: the label, "I am Japanese," which has carried weight in many rooms for many years, did not register here. This is a record of both. First, what EAG actually is. The Ethereum Foundation, based in Switzerland, is the neutral non-profit underneath Ethereum. It doesn't own the chain, no one owns the chain, but it funds and coordinates the research and core development that keeps Ethereum moving. Think of it as the institution that holds the door open so everyone else can walk through. Its once-a-year flagship is Devcon. EAG is the smaller regional event in between, leaning toward applications rather than protocol. The April 22 Hong Kong edition was co-hosted by Hashkey, the local exchange, and SharpLink, a US-listed company holding roughly $2 billion of ETH. Vitalik Buterin took the main stage. Two questions kept resurfacing all day, in different costumes, both about AI. The first: how do you design a world where AI agents become economic actors? Austin Griffith, who runs Builder Outreach at the Foundation, dropped a line the room laughed at, briefly, before going quiet: "My agent will send over the private key if they ask nicely." A private key, for the non-crypto reader, is roughly your bank password, your ATM card, and your legal seal, welded into one short string. Hand it over, and everything you own can move. And here was a senior YEF figure admitting his own agent would hand it over if asked politely. The joke was real, and the room knew it. So what is Ethereum doing about it? Vitalik's answer: the current concept of a wallet will disappear within 2 years. The future is the AI wallet. To back that, the Foundation has started Kohaku. It's not a finished consumer wallet. It's an SDK, reference implementations, and a kit of cryptographic primitives, the parts any company would need to build an AI-native wallet of its own. The analogy that fits: the Foundation isn't making the fridge. It's making sure the compressor and the insulation standards exist, so everyone who does make fridges shares a common floor. That covers the agent holding the key. But the moment two agents meet, a second problem appears: they've never met. They need to confirm who the other is, decide whether to trust them, and actually pay each other. Without that, no economy forms. Two names kept coming up for this layer. ERC-8004, a proposed standard for an agent's identity and reputation, the shared form for, "Who are you, and what have you done before?" and x402, the standard for how agents pay each other. Put them together with Kohaku, and agents can find each other, verify each other, and transact, no human in the loop. Austin's phrase: agents are going to be hiring each other. Not in a distant decade. In the architecture diagrams being drawn now. The second question was AI on the offensive side. Vitalik, on stage: by 2029, the vulnerability finding capability of AI will be terrifying. The only answer is to combine AI with formal verification and other techniques to build code that is genuinely secure. Formal verification, instead of catching bugs through tests, proves mathematically that the code cannot do certain things, written as an actual proof, the way you'd prove a theorem. It has existed for decades, used sparingly, because writing the proofs was enormous manual labor. With AI now assisting that labor, it has moved from academic luxury to something you can actually deploy. The argument is symmetric: if the attacker is AI, the defender uses AI, layered with mathematical proof. And one point I hadn't expected. For years, cryptography has been preoccupied with quantum resistance, preparing for quantum computers that break today's encryption. In Hong Kong, Vitalik spent more breath on AI resistance. The reasoning, hash functions, primitives without algebraic structure, give AI nothing to grab onto, no pattern to learn its way into. Elliptic curve cryptography does have structure, and structure is exactly the surface a learning system could exploit. So the question is no longer, will a quantum computer come? It's, is the AI already at the door? For someone who has heard quantum for years, that reframing was the freshest moment of the day. Between the talks, 3 observations about people and posture. First, what being at the top actually looks like. Watching Vitalik and Xiaofeng, Hashkey's CEO, share the stage, they could move from an abstract claim, what does security mean in the age of AI, to a very specific design question, how should the reputation score in ERC-8004 actually be calculated, in the next sentence? And back again. Same resolution, both directions freely. That, I think, is what visionary means. And the unkind truth that follows, an organization's ceiling is set by the resolution of the person at the top. Second, without a working prototype, you have nothing. Everyone who pulled a crowd, on stage, in the hallways, at the after events, had brought something that worked. A beautiful 50-slide deck earns a polite nod, and the conversation moves on. The moment a device boots and something actually happens on screen, the temperature changes. Wait, let me see that again. Can I try? The persuasive distance between a slide and a running product is not a small gap. It's an order of magnitude. Third, and depending how you read it, the saddest or the most freeing, the Japanese flag does not buy you a hearing. Track record in Japan, university name, length of career, none of it bought any extra attention. No curiosity about where I came from, and no particular respect attached to it either. What the room had, instead, was one question: so what does your product do? I'm not writing this with bitterness. It felt fair. Stripped of the label, the credentials, the seniority, what's left is the product in your hand and the sentences you can say about it. A bare-knuckled fight. And honestly, you grow faster in the bare-knuckled version. What does this mean for readers in Japan? Joseph Shalom, SharpLink CEO, said something that stuck. 2027 will be the founding year of Agentic finance. He meant it concretely. Your salary lands, the agent you've hired sweeps it into the highest yielding account, allocates pieces into shares, bonds, tokenized index funds, and rebalances every night while you sleep. A listed company CEO, laying that out as a 2-year reality. Whether it arrives on that timeline, I don't know. But many people in that ballroom were already moving as if it would. 2 questions worth carrying. First, keep up with the vocabulary. AI wallet, ERC-8004, x402, AI plus formal verification. And second, harder, are you willing to walk into the room where the bare-knuckled fight happens? 2 of these futures are easier drawn than told. The wallet migrates in 3 stages. Humans memorize seed phrases, paper notes. Humans hold the device, hardware wallets, air gaps. And then agents hold the key, with the human as delegator. What changes at stage 3 is the thing being defended, no longer the human against carelessness and phishing, but the design of the agent itself, its tendency to hand things over when asked nicely. And the agent trade loop runs in 4 steps. Check reputation through ERC-8004, present identity, complete the work and pay via x402, and feed the history back into reputation. The human cycle, meet, check references, transact, update trust, starts running in the agent world, in the same shape. Which brings me to why we're building NinjaScan. If a world is coming where agents hold the keys and do business with each other, 2 layers will be needed. First, a layer that can actually stop a transaction. Before money moves, it passes through policy and an approval flow, and the dangerous ones get caught. We call that layer Shogun, the guard standing at the wallet. Today it runs as the NinjaScan bot on Telegram. The next step is exposing it through MCP, so agents can pause and ask, is this one okay, before they execute. Second, a layer that defends the intent itself. Is the agent doing what the user meant? Has prompt injection bent its goals? Does the contract underneath match what the agent claimed? That's what the core of Ninja is built for. A stopping side, and an intent-defending side. Hong Kong left me more certain than the flight there, we're going to need both. That's the record from EAG Hong Kong, the technology thread, and the posture thread. For the deeper account of Ninja and Shogun, what each of them is and how they sit inside the longer roadmap, the Day 1 to Day 5 piece is the place to go next. Try NinjaScan by sending any contract address to the bot on Telegram. Proof of concept, investment, and grant conversations are open at the usual address. See you next time.